Hi, it's Logan Mayville with PMM. Today I'm going to cover a Facebook advertising framework that most businesses can use to increase their ad performance, but the majority are not using. So stick with us, we're going to dive in deep to some of the advanced tactics you can use to grow your business. Let's go. For experienced advertisers, the Facebook Ads two-step, as we call it, is simply the way things are done. And yet massive amounts of businesses are missing out on a ton of leads due to poor performance by not using this framework. That's right, this is a framework, not a tactic. This training isn't necessarily going to teach you exactly what to write in terms of ad copy, exactly what length of video to use, or exactly who you should target. It's impossible to recommend any of those details without first looking at your business. Instead, what I'm going to show you today is a framework where you can fill in the gaps with your own unique business strengths and points of differentiation. If your current Facebook ad campaigns aren't performing and you're not sure why, this training will help you uncover the reason for poor performance and how to improve it. So with that said, the first thing that you're going to need to do before we can actually start two-stepping is a solid technical foundation. And when we're talking about Facebook ads, a solid technical foundation means proper implementation of the Facebook pixel. The Facebook pixel is what allows you to do all the juicy parts of Facebook ads, like track conversions, run retargeting campaigns, and a lot of other stuff you're going to need to have success on the platform. If you don't have your Facebook pixel configured properly, you won't be able to two-step, track conversions and cost per lead, and you won't be able to let the Facebook algorithm optimize your ads over time the way all the big brands do. So for these three reasons, it's really important that you install the Facebook pixel on your site and configure the events properly. And it's actually not difficult at all. There are three areas you need to focus on. First is your homepage, and actually every page of your site. You're going to want to install the Facebook pixel globally and fire the page view event on every single page. That includes the landing page that you point your ads to. The term firing a page view event just means that Facebook understands that somebody has seen that page and has a record of that. But if someone fills out your form and is redirected to your thank you page, you're going to want to fire the lead event as well. What this means is that anybody who loads the thank you page will be counted as a lead in your Facebook Ads Manager. When reviewing your campaign data, you'll be able to see how many leads your ads generated and what they cost. There are plenty of different ways you can collect lead information, but trust me, this is the easiest and most effective way. So let's actually jump into a web browser and show you what this looks like in real time. So here's our site. You can see it says postmm.com in the address bar, and specifically, you can see I'm on the landing page for one of our other trainings called the Digital Blueprint for Business. Now it's really small, but up in the corner here, you can see that I have the Facebook Pixel Helper Chrome extension enabled, and it's showing me that yes, indeed, I have a Facebook pixel firing the page view event on this page. So far, so good. Now as a user, when I click this call to action button and fill out the form here, I'm going to be redirected to a thank you page. Note how the URL changes. Now if I go back to my browser extension, I can see that, yep, I've got a complete registration event firing on this page. Complete registration event is the same as lead in this case. A quick comment on thank you pages. Note that if someone makes it all the way through our funnel to the training video, we give them the option to schedule a call right there. I mean, you've already built momentum with these ads and landing pages, why not just capitalize on it when their interest level is high? Anyway, this is more of a user experience thing than an advertising thing, but it's still a great practice for your landing pages. So like I said, not too difficult to have a pixel perfect website set up. It only takes a few minutes and there are plenty of resources online to help you figure it out. So now that you have your whole funnel set up and you can actually begin the Facebook ads two-step, what I want you to do right now is divide your brain into two sections. One section that thinks about prospecting and the other that thinks about retargeting. Prospecting is a term that Facebook advertisers use to indicate the practice of targeting audiences that have not been on your website before, they have not seen your videos before, and can generally be considered to be new to your brand. These are fresh audiences and your ad is basically introducing them to your brand for the first time. Some characteristics of prospecting audiences are the size in Facebook Ads Manager should be over 150,000 people at a minimum. The goal with the prospecting audience is to gain their attention, interest, desire, and action in that order. After all, no one takes action if you don't have their attention. We'll look at some creative examples later. The metrics for success in a prospecting campaign are click-through rate, video watch percentage, and cost per acquisition, to name a few. And lastly, your prospecting campaign should represent about 80% of your total budget. This gives you enough sample size where you can actually start testing things and innovating and improving your campaigns. Now on the other side of the coin, you have your retargeting audiences. These are audiences who have either been to your site, they've watched some of your videos, or they've engaged with your brand on Facebook or Instagram. These are going to be narrow audiences, a relatively small group of people. Your goal with the ad is to basically overcome any objections they might have to your product or service and to become a lead or make a purchase. The metric for success for retargeting campaigns is pretty much cost per acquisition. The other metrics don't really matter as much because it's such a small audience. Lastly, retargeting audiences should probably represent about 10 to 20% of your overall budget. So that's the Facebook ads two-step in theory, but now let's take a look at what that looks like in practice. Now, if you've ever been inside Facebook Ads Manager, you know that your ad account is composed of campaigns, ad sets, and ads. You should always separate your prospecting campaigns from your retargeting campaigns. Never mix prospecting and retargeting audiences because if you do, you'll never be able to tell which audience was responsible for your results. So for prospecting campaigns, here are a few popular audiences, just for example. You have your location-only audiences if you're advertising locally and you have a small market. If you're advertising in a more densely populated area, you're likely going to want to add some demographic targeting. Of course, there's the always popular interest-based audiences with Facebook ads. And lookalike audiences can be really effective so long as you have a good source. Some popular choices for retargeting audiences are website traffic in the last 30 days, colder traffic who hasn't been to your site in a while, and then there's traffic that's ice cold that hasn't been to your site in 3 months. Maybe you need to send them some ads featuring what's new with your brand. I've also included re-engagement audiences because re-engagement means that they've engaged with your brand somehow on one of Facebook's platforms, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. I'll often combine these with retargeting audiences into the same campaign, but I've separated them out here just so you can see some popular re-engagement audiences. One of the beautiful things about separating your audiences like this is that you can actually tailor your ad creative to their specific stage in the buyer's journey. Here's an example of a prospecting ad that performed really well in the past. The absolute first thing you've got to do with a prospecting ad is you have to stop the person from scrolling past it. So we've got this guy and he's kind of got an odd shirt on and he's holding a plastic spine. And for a specific type of audience, that's going to grab their attention. If you successfully stop their scroll, the next thing your audience will do is glance up at the primary text area. And that's where you can build their interest level. The copy on this ad reads, DCs, learn the one thing you must master if you ever want to break 200 patient visits a week. So DCs is an industry term for chiropractor. That's how they refer to themselves. It's not a consumer term. So what this means is this ad is directed at chiropractors and they'll know he's speaking to them because it's an esoteric term. A chiropractor can easily do a quick calculation of what 200 patient visits a week would do for them in terms of revenue. So basically what he's talking about in cleverly coded language is business growth, but the numbers make it stand out. Attention and interest have been achieved. If you glance down, we can see the headline reads it's a must-watch free video for DCs. This gives them a hint that on the other side of the click, there's a free video that will help them grow their practice. Watching a video is a pretty low effort click for them, so many will take it right there. Lastly, there's a mention of a bonus gift in the link description, but they'll have to click through to figure it out, which helps arouse their curiosity. As you can see from the social proof and the engagement in the comments section of this ad, this was a really popular video. But even if they liked the ad, and even if they actually clicked through, not everyone's going to convert in that moment. That's just the nature of digital marketing. Maybe they're on their phone and it's not the right time, whatever. If that's the case, then you have the retargeting campaigns as a catcher's mitt underneath everything to grab those leads that didn't convert on the first ad. In the middle ad, you can see it's a woman giving a testimonial. The primary text area is a quote from the video talking about how great the program is. Now, if this was a prospecting campaign, it might seem a little out of place since the audience doesn't even know what the program is about. This particular ad makes more sense if you've already been exposed to the offer and need a little more persuasion to get you to convert into a lead. Those are examples of how the Facebook ads two-step can help you optimize your ad creative, but that's not the only benefit to dividing your campaigns this way. As I mentioned, you should never mix your prospecting and retargeting audiences because you'll never be able to tell which audience was responsible for the result. But once you have your campaigns separated out like this, you're going to receive data on both campaigns that will allow you to set up a command center. In your prospecting campaigns, you're going to want to look closely at metrics like click-through rate, video watch percentage, and make some adjustments to your ads. Low CTR in a prospecting campaign likely won't work in the long term. Additionally, if you discover that your retargeting campaigns are converting leads efficiently, It's probably going to make sense to feed your prospecting campaigns more budget so you can have a larger retargeting audience to convert. Kind of like a snake eating its own tail. The data will allow you to actually iterate and make better ads that are going to lead to performance increases over time. Now, of course, if you've got the data, you can start develop a testing mentality. A lot of people try Facebook ads, and if they didn't work and they don't know why it didn't work, they just give up and assume the platform won't work for them. But if you have this level of organization inside your ads manager, you can actually zero in on why things didn't work out. Was the click-through rate in your prospecting campaigns too low, not generating enough traffic? You'll need to work on your ad creative, especially the copywriting. Here are a few other things you can test. The first thing you'll actually want to test is your offer, which ironically doesn't have anything to do with Facebook ads. What are you offering this lead? How well is the landing page converting? If your landing page is converting traffic under 10%, it's going to be very expensive no matter how good your ads are. If you're converting above 20%, that's a home run and you should probably scale up your ad spend. Obviously, you can and should test your ad creative. If your click-through rate is below 1%, you're probably going to want to make some changes to your ad copy. Aim for 1.5% higher. Additionally, you can test your audiences. You can test lookalikes, you can test broad-based location-only audiences, and tons more. So that's basically it for the Facebook ads two-step. We sincerely hope this helps you better organize your ad accounts and achieve better results. One thing I do want to point out that's super important though, is that this is part of a much larger picture. In the Digital Blueprint for Business webinar, we laid out 3 key areas where businesses need to focus on to ensure their digital marketing strategy will work. As you can see, the Facebook ads two-step is going to fit right here in this advertising box as part of your measurable marketing initiative. But if you're sending traffic to a website that's not world-class, your conversion rates will be low and your campaigns will be very expensive. You'll end up wasting a ton of money sending traffic to a site that's not optimized. And if you're actually generating leads at an efficient rate with your ads, what systems do you have in place to turn them into customers? Do you have reporting and analytics to understand the costs and outcomes of those? Do you have a CRM and marketing automation system where you can nurture those leads with email towards a purchase? The point is that the Facebook ads two-step is only a small part of a comprehensive digital marketing strategy. You're going to need all of this if you want to have long-term success. Thanks for watching our video. We hope you learned something about Facebook ads, but more importantly, we hope you do something with it to help grow your business. Now, if you have any questions or comments about the content we covered today, or you want to see how we can put the Facebook ads two-step to work for your business, go ahead and set an appointment with me using the calendar below. Thanks again for watching.